So, quick introduction. My name's Nikki, and I play Pokemon. So, there we go. Anyways, I have a team here. It's sitting at a very clean 25 wins with only one or two losses. I think it's two. And this team is nothing special except for the fact that everything's sitting pretty much in the middle of speed in the meta. We don't have anything that's really fast, and we don't have anything that's really slow. Reason for this is we have a team that consists of just a Braviary, Mimikyu, Chandelure, Dracovish, Hydreigon, and Excadrill. We have Braviary here because Braviary can set up Tailwind, uh, and when you Dynamax him, he has access to Max Airstream to give us more speed to help our middle in the tier speed Pokemon outspeed other threats. He has Max Knuckle for when you Dynamax him, and that can give us attack boost, but that's there for when we need it. We usually don't go for that. And protect for the VGC protect plays that happen in the game. And we give him Citrus Berry because Citrus Berry helps him live hits, and Brave Bird the recoil will over time wear it down, and this gives it just enough HP to help sometimes. We have Mimikyu here. It has this berry solely just for Mold Breaker Excadrill, so it can live an Iron Head hit through Mold Breaker, because it ignores its ability to disguise, which lets it normally take a free hit. We have Shadow Claw and Play Rough just mostly for dual stab and hit things that are weak to it, or just for neutral damage. We have Will-O-Wisp because the meta currently is pretty physical, and getting a burn off on any threat's pretty good. And Trick Room is here for when we run into a team that is super fast, or they just have a tailwind to control the speed. So teams with like Whimsicott or other Braviaries, but they have nothing that's really slow, we use Trick Room, so our middle of the tier Pokemon can outspeed. Like, as I said, we have just Pokemon that aren't really too fast, but they're not really slow either. And next up, we got Chandelure. Chandelure has Shadow Ball, Heat Wave, Protect, and Energy. Shadow Ball hits everything really hard. Heat Wave is pretty good too for stab, but sometimes it lets you get KOs that you wouldn't normally get because the damage is hitting both Pokemon for just a little less. And we have Energy Ball to hit Gastrodon and other certain things, but mostly for Gastrodon because it can just be a threat to us. Chandelure has an air balloon to help dodge ground attacks that would normally hit it really hard. And the reasoning for this over giving it Focus Sash is I like Focus Sash on Excadrill, who we'll get to later. And with Air Balloon, it stops them from throwing out Max Quakes, which also raise their special defense, and it makes it harder for Chandelure to just start chipping in on them. So next up, we got Dracovish, and he is really only going to be using Vicious Rend, and the other moves are very, very situational. With one of them being Dragon Rush, I'll explain that. Vicious Rend does pretty strong damage if you're attacking first, and because of how our team works, we will be attacking first when we control the speed. He's banded, so it's gonna pretty much one-shot or just do heavy damage to everything. We have Rock Slide to deal with things from when Vicious Rend doesn't really help us out. An example would be if they have a Trick Room team, and sometimes you don't want to use the Mimikyu cheese for dealing with Trick Room. You want to use double Rock Slide Flinch, because if Excadrill also has this move, and when you pair them up together, you're basically making it so there's a 60% chance to flinch if both Rock Slides connect. And usually they have to play around this or think and risk going for the Trick Room regardless, because they only have a 40% chance to get it off, and that can just outright win you the match from there. Psychic Fangs is here for when we need to get rid of screens, and if it's just not a bad attack to throw out, and for when Vicious Rend is not a viable option, like a Gastrodon still being alive with Storm Drain in the back. Now Dragon Rush is here for very niche moment for when we fear Dragapult and it's Dynamaxed. Because the only thing that can OHKO Dragapult while Dynamaxed is Dragon Rush, but it's only 6% chance. If it's Life Orbed, then it kills after Life Orb damage. But that's what Dragon Rush is here for. We have Hydreigon here because Dark Pulse hits really hard and Draco. He has a Life Orb, so these attacks will just keep doing extra, and they're dual stab. Draco Meteor is gonna, it can one-shot certain Pokemon that just do not resist it. And Flamethrower's here because there's threats that my team can't really deal too well with. One being Rotom Cut, or the lawn mower, the grass type Rotom. Flamethrower is here to discourage it because Hydreigon can come onto anything that set has. Will-O-Wisp doesn't care. Thunderbolt, it resists. Leaf Storm, it resists. So, and then Protect is here, just, protect place. And finally, Excadrill with a Focus Sash. He has Iron Head, High Horsepower, Rock Slide, and Protect. Iron Head, High Horsepower for the obvious reasons. They're just dual stab and you want to use them. We use High Horsepower over Earthquake because Earthquake hits everything, and we don't really want to hit everything because that's just not it. And High Horsepower lets you choose a single target, and that's pretty good because Earthquake's damage is lowered because it's spread out. And Rock Slide is here for what I said earlier with the Dracovish lead. Against a Trick Room team that has Follow Me or Rage Powder support, you can just fish for a flinch, and that can just win you a match. So with how this team works, you want to identify what the other team has for speed control, and then play around it. If their only form of speed control is realistically Tailwind or Max Airstream, Mimikyu might be a good choice. The reason why is for Trick Room, and Illatar, slower than average Pokemon go first. Braviary is pretty strong of a lead when you notice multiple stat dropping users like Intimidate, or just things like that, because then you can get Defiant boosts, and Defiant just it can just outright sweep a team. And if you get Defiant boost, you're better off just Dynamaxing and Max Airstream spamming rather than Tailwinding up and all that stuff. Chandelure and Dracovish should hit hard pretty much everything they run into. They got a little bit of dual synergy where Chandelure can handle Gastrodon. Doesn't want to really take a water type attack from it, but it can handle it. And Dracovish can eat pretty much dual or just water type moves in general. Hydreigon and Excadrill cover each other pretty well because our team doesn't do too well, doesn't do too bad against Rotom, but Rotom is a problem, and Hydreigon and Excadrill cover that threat pretty well. Excadrill with Mold Breaker being able to hit everything really hard, with Rotom Cut being a problem, but Hydreigon solves that problem pretty well. The team has like a bunch of answers to everything, but you're gonna run into stuff where it'll just be a problem once in a while if you don't deal with it correctly. An example of a big problem would be Dragapult, and if you're being realistic, you're gonna see that thing in like almost every game because of the usage it has. It's just crazy fast. It has crazy moves. It can be physical or special, sometimes even a support. I don't like that one, but yeah. This thing can use Will-O-Wisp, so you gotta keep in mind because most of our team hits for physical damage. So getting a burn off on them is not good. Our ways of dealing with it though, Mimikyu can live a hit and play rough or Will-O-Wisp if it's physical. You can even set up Trick Room on it and then make sure Dragapult's dead last because its speed is just And then we got Excadrill with a Sash and it can just come in with a free hit and revenge kill. We got Braviary who can just Dynamax in its face and Max Airstream without being threatened. And if Dragapult went for the Max Dragon attack, I think it's Max Wormwind, we'll get an attack boost. So it's gonna chunk that thing out of there. Gastrodon's a problem only because our super effective way of dealing with it is through Chandelure, getting an energy ball. Chandelure doesn't really want to switch into a water type move from it. and Dracofish just can't use Fish's Rend with that thing present, so you need to handle that threat. So there's that. All Rotom forms could be a problem too, like I said. The only one being Grass being a threat, really, because it just hits our team with everything. T-Bolt for Braviary. Mimikyu's not going to really kill it on its own. We got Chandelure doesn't want to eat a T-Bolt. Like, it can, but you don't really want to take a hit just for no reason like that. And if it's Rotom Wash, it's going to kill Chandelure. So, there's that. Dracofish doesn't want to get burned, but it can take out some of them. Hydreigon can freely go into it and take a hit or anything, so there's that. And Excadrill with Mold Breaker can also hit any of them. That is not a problem. Arcanine's kind of scary though. He's another threat, because Justified Arcanine getting beat up, woo! That's not it, Chief. That thing alone could probably body this whole team. I didn't really take that into account when making it, but Braviary can eat and Intimidate and get an attack boost. I do not think you're going to eat a Wild Charge or Max Lightning from that thing at +4. No. No, there's no way. And if it's a support set, you got to play around Will-O-Wisp and Snarl, because like our team doesn't really want to get burned, and special attack drops they're not too great for our team when Hydreigon and Chandelure are out, and they do decent damage to Chandelure. Intimidate with Will-O-Wisp can also be a problem from the support set, because then it can just live hits for days. Dracofish can actually, I believe, one-shot it with Fish's Rend if we go first, through a burn and a -1 attack from Intimidate, if it's not invested in max defense. But Excadrill, if he gets intimidated and burned, Arcanine's just gone. Eat them up. He's not going to get any kind of hurt. He's just going to forever just sit there in your face. And if he has Morning Sun for recovery, you're in trouble if you don't choose correctly. Grimmsnarl's annoying. It's a support, and it can attack. Prankster, Thunderwave, dual screens, and then it's got Strong, Dark, and Fairy. And Fake Out can really just destroy us if we're not ready for that. Only Hydreigon resists Dark on our team, and even then, you don't want to risk getting hit with the Fairy move. Our best answer is really Excadrill with Iron Head, because, Fairy's weak to Iron, Steel. Excadrill can't be paralyzed either because of the typing it has. Ground just can't be paralyzed. But you gotta be worried about Fake Out, and then it's gonna pop your sash pretty much. And then you get KO'd by the partner, so that's what Protect's there for. Gyarados is kind of spooky because our only way of really getting it damage on it for super effective is with Rock Slide, and that's not the best move damage wise, and on top of it, it's not good accuracy. He could intimidate us so it does even less damage, and he could just Dynamax. He's got all kinds of things to ruin us too. He can use the Max Water move, and it can start raining. It'll make our fire attacks weaker against grass. So now Rotom Cut becomes a problem. It can also boost its team speed with the Max Flying move. Our best way of really dealing with him is just to hit him with our strong neutral attacks like Dark Pulse or Draco and Shadow Ball from Chandelure, and just controlling the speed better. But anyways, this is the team. I do believe it has an answer for everything. It just depends on how you play around everything and choosing correctly and choosing the place. This video is already kind of long, and I'm gonna probably upload another one showing gameplay on how to do things, what to do with it, and then after that I might make another team, depending on how this goes. So anyways, thanks for watching, and